Yes, sir. Mod Tricker. Back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be breaking down some creepy videos that'll leave you scratching your head. Let's get it.
An ingredient in Doritos made see-through mice. I know this sounds crazy, but this could lead to a massive breakthrough in science and healthcare. So researchers at Stanford University were able to see through the skin of live mice by applying a mixture of water and tartrazine, or better known as bright yellow-orange food coloring, used in Doritos, other foods, and cosmetics. So the experiment was for the quest for better methods to see tissue and organs within the body. So they used tartrazine because the molecules absorb blue and ultraviolet light, which make it easier for light to pass through the mouse skin. It's literally like magic. So after testing this on mice tissue samples and raw chicken, the researchers rubbed the solution on the skulls and abdomen of the mice. As it absorbed, within a few minutes, they could see the skin, muscle, and connective tissue transparent in live rodents. That's crazy. So there are pictures of these translucent mice, and they're a little graphic. So that's why my head's covering this one right here. But I mean, you guys, look them up if you want to see. It is insane. Now, the reason this is such a breakthrough is because you can actually see the organs working in their natural manner. Obviously, my skin's a lot thinner than our skin, but they're definitely going to look into this one.
If the solution that they tested works the same way for humans as it does for mice, then my insides are probably already transparent from all the Dorito dust built up in my system.
Yo, I seriously feel like something really big is coming. I know I show you guys all the stuff that's going on and everything else, but I had this really, really weird feeling. Did y'all see her dress at this VMA or whatever it is? Tell me why she has UFOs on the dress, even in her tour. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, why is this such a big thing? Every major event this year has had aliens, UFOs, or greys. We just had the Olympics and we had all these greys performing behind this mantis, and mantis again was known by the ancient tribes to always show up with greys, and I mean everywhere. And we had the aliens at the Super Bowl. Don't worry, it's my video. It's like every single major entertainment source is all showing us UFOs and aliens. Why? What happens when this kind of stuff is usually shown over and over again? Think about it. I wonder, I feel like they're kind of trying to show us, you know, the future. Oh, and I forgot the Miami incident right when the year started. And then right after the eclipse, we had these black shadows flying by the sun. Yeah, so sorry, but I don't think this is an accident.
It seems like Taylor Swift is the Illuminati Golden Girl, so if she's wearing a UFO dress, we might be seeing a mothership land at the Super Bowl after Travis Kelce scores a rigged touchdown.
É o seguinte, lá no pôr do sol. O tamanho da árvore, galera. Ó, o pôr do sol não apareceu, vai aparecer. Quando eu peguei coisa, fala assim, ó. Os caras grandes e tal. Tem um cara gigante ali, ó. Fala assim, ó. O pôr do sol não apareceu, mas apareceu um gigante. Lá no pôr do sol. Olha o tamanho da árvore, galera. Ó, o pôr do sol não apareceu, vai aparecer. Olha aqui embaixo o tamanho dos caras, ó. Olha o tamanho do pessoal. Olha o cara. Olha lá, o pôr do sol não apareceu, mas pareceu um gigante. Olha lá, vai. Cadê ele? Vai mais que você. Cadê ele? Olha lá, achei que eu tava mal. Eu também achei, cara. Filmei. Já chegou o guarda, não tem que ligar aqui. Olha lá, tá voltando lá, tamanho da árvore.
This could just be a matter of camera angle and perspective, but even so, his calf muscle looks as big as that tree trunk, so I would say he's at least 8'6".
If you've gotten in the habit of ordering stuff from Temu and Shein, stop right now because there's a brand new study that just came out pointing out that the stuff you're buying can do serious damage to your health. Shein and Temu have been rapidly growing in the past few years, with Temu's 700% increase in traffic last year alone, but last week an investigation was done by South Korean health authorities where they tested 144 items and found that almost all contained phthalates. If you're not familiar, phthalates are known as forever chemicals linked to all kinds of health problems, including disrupting your hormones, causing reproductive issues, and even increased risk of cancer. The items tested were all sorts of everyday products like fragrances and wrappings, but one of the pairs of shoes that was investigated was found to have 229 times the legal limit of phthalates.
This is a case of you get what you pay for. If you buy a pair of phthalate Force Ones off of Temu for $10, the shoes might not last a month, but the chemicals will last forever.
Bro, what am I hearing on my radio? This creeping me the out. cutting this off, bro. That's
I want to say that he's actually playing this sound himself to make a viral video, because if not, this is either some type of weird interference or his radio somehow tuned in to channel 93.1 WUAP radio with this alien transmission.
The UK opens up its first teacherless AI classroom in London. A private school in London is going to be the first classroom in the UK taught entirely by artificial intelligence instead of human teachers, and they say the technology allows for precise, bespoke, meaning customer individual learning, while critics argue that AI teaching will lead to a soulless, bleak future. And what's crazy about this is that the students will be using a mixture of artificial intelligence platforms on their computers and virtual reality headsets. So they'll put on their VR headsets to go talk or get a lesson from their AI teacher. This is going to be done at David Game College, which is a private school run in London, and it's a trial run course for 20 GCSE students in September. If I can find it in here, each student will have to pay £27,000 per year, which is going to be about 40,000 US dollars. And I can't imagine paying 40 grand to have an AI teacher attempt to teach me more effectively than a human being.
So they don't even want to pay our human teachers enough money to live comfortably, but they want to charge $40,000 a year to be taught by Professor ChatGPT-4. This world is sadistic.
What's wrong with our fruit? I ain't never seen no, no, heck no. I told y'all to eat little watermelons. That's not normal.
I gotta cut this one because I'm not gonna eat it, and I'm gotta see what it look like. Smell normal. I'm not gonna eat it though, but it's like weird looking right there. No, I'm not eating this.
I don't think a watermelon is ever supposed to look like a deflated Spalding basketball.
Weeknd just performed a concert in Brazil, and there was a lot of symbolism. Starting with the stage he was performing on, many speculated that this was supposed to be representative of a church because of the windows and the crosses all over the building. Now, when the concert first started, it was him with his hands out in the bright light. After that, the dancers slowly started to come in their red robes, and this is when everything went red. Behind him, a visual appears. It seems like it's a man in a glass box trying to be freed or something. Something I noticed about his concerts and performances is that many times his dancers are the same. They're wearing these red robes and they all do the same movements. Speaking of robes, he wore one himself and it had a lot of detail. I'm not sure what any of it means, but if you know anything about it, comment down below. Something interesting I noticed was this backdrop here. At first, I thought it was a phoenix or something like that, but then it zooms in and you can see a shadow in the middle of it, almost like it's a person.
For now on, if I'm ever at a concert and they bring the robes out, I'm out, because there's not a single song in a Weeknd's entire catalog that would require him to wear Bohemian Grove traditional garb.
The shocking reason of why so much of the Grand Canyon is off limits to public exploration. Now, while the breathtaking landscape of the Grand Canyon still captivates us to this day, there's still so much mystery behind this sacred place. Now, check this out. If you compare an old copper mine to the Grand Canyon, you'll see a lot of similarities. However, I do not think that they were mining copper back in the day. I think they were mining gold. Now, for decades, explorers like John Powell have ventured into the forbidden zones of the Grand Canyon and made some astonishing discoveries. Hidden deep within the Grand Canyon are these man-made caves, and deep within these caves they found ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. And let's not forget all the pyramid-like structures that are found at the Grand Canyon. Scientists also recently discovered these hieroglyphics and structures in the forbidden zones of the Grand Canyon. This looks more like a reptilian humanoid. Now, clearly something has been covered up here for a long time. What's very interesting is some of this stuff isn't even hidden anymore. G.E. Kincaid actually discovered ancient Egyptian artifacts that are now on display at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. These were found in the Grand Canyon caves. So clearly the ancient Egyptians had a lot to do with the Grand Canyon, and this is exactly why much of this place is off limits to public exploration. It makes me think that they were definitely mining gold here and who knows what else, but this is just my opinion, so let us know what you think about this in the comments down below. Peace and love.
The picture of the reptilian looking statue definitely looks a little AI generated to me, but everything else that he said might actually be true, especially since it's hard for me to trust the history that we've been taught, because in elementary school I was told that Benjamin Franklin discovered electricity with a kite and an iron key, and we know that's not verified.
Look, that's snowing. But it's not. What the look, it's snowing. But it's not. What the stop it. I actually seen a video like this, I thought it was fake. What the is happening? It's snowing. It's snowing. But it's not.
Maybe this is an optical illusion based on perspective, but I remember a video from a couple years back that showed a very similar glitch, so the simulation might need a full factory reset soon.
The Rosicrucians. This secret society started by Christian Rosicrucian. He was brought in by the church, raised a monk, but he always questioned the church. And on his journey, he went to Israel, Damascus, and different parts of the Middle East, and came back. He's like, what I've learned is this access to a hidden knowledge. And he started this movement. What they would practice, the secrets of the universe, how to heal people, science, astrology, enchantments, alchemy, and how to access the realm to which true knowledge lies. And everything that they teach is exactly what the Watchers introduced to man. There's been a lot of really important people that have been in this order.
No way.
Yeah, supposedly Leonardo da Vinci, Sir Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin. The speculation is that they are involved in how everything is running in the world.
Yeah.
Accessing this ancient knowledge to bring harmony amongst Earth.
It's not very harmonious right now on Earth.
Exactly, because it's like, well, do you think they're getting their knowledge from good things or bad things?
I don't knock anyone who's on a journey of spiritual discovery, but it seems like back in the day, they were creating secret societies like they were fantasy football leagues. Everybody had one. That's either a baby poltergeist or they got thing 1 and thing 2 running through the house.
The truth of the matter is that unless you consciously had set those posts to private since 2007, Meta has just decided that you will scrape all of the photos and all of the text from every public post on Instagram or Facebook that Australians have shared since 2007, unless there was a conscious decision to set them on private. But that's actually the reality, isn't it?
Correct. We use data that
thanks for the answer to that. That is correct, and Senator Shoebridge has rightly raised that point.
Unless I explicitly opt into my data being used to train AI, I would need Mark Zuckerberg to cut me a percentage of the proceeds, especially since he's been building bunkers and buying jewelry.
Hey, is this not a glitch in the Matrix or what? Look at this. Okay. Zoom in. Look at this. This is just a shadow of a tree. And it is making perfect grids. It almost looks like a canvas paper. Isn't that crazy? Look at this. That is the shadow of a tree. How is that not? Look. Street light. Tree. Tree shadow. Look at this. That is most definitely, it's even more pronounced over here. That is crazy. I have never seen this before. Normally it shows like actual leaves and shapes of leaves, but this is crazy. Watch out, Lil. Does this not look really crazy? This is literally just regular cement. Regular cement. And this is how it looks in real life, too. Oh, mosquito. Oh, freaking mosquito. Yeah, look at this. Okay, unfocused and focused. Look at that. That's crazy.
This might be caused by the grid pattern on the light bulb cover, but if this was me, I would think I woke up in a Roblox server.
This is your digital tattoo, which Eric Schmidt was involved with from the early days. If you were non-personed and locked out the digital social credit system, then anyone caught sending and receiving digital currency from or to you will risk being locked out also. The intelligence assets are so easy to follow through all of these things. People just don't want to hear it, and that's the issue. Elon Musk is incredibly embedded with all these guys. It's not even hidden. It's so easy to find this stuff. So what happens if you're locked out? These people are building this system. Starlink, SpaceX, they're all connected, literally going to be connected on the internet. And this, I believe, will be broadcast or at least datum hubbed from Solomon's Temple, where it'll all be.
If all 8 billion of us just stand by and do nothing while they implement this, then there's something wrong with us. That's like plugging ourselves up to the Matrix.
Olha na matriz.
Nó na sombra. Cadê o nó aqui?
Almost day.
There's no loop in the actual chord, so maybe the shadow just didn't get that memo.
Reese Witherspoon. I did the video on my other account, but I'm going to do it on this one too. You ever just sit down and wonder how she got so famous so quick within the industry? This is her daddy, Dr. John D. Witherspoon, otolaryngologist, Nashville, Tennessee. Mama was a nurse, Betty Reese. This too is John Witherspoon, Dr. John Witherspoon, a founding father of the United States and one of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. Again, for reference, her father. They could be clones. They could be brothers. Cousins. Reese Witherspoon celebrates lookalike daughter Ava's 25th birthday. Love you with all my heart. Reese is actually her mother, Betty's maiden name. She is a claimed descendant of John Witherspoon. And like I said on the other video, you know, there's this wacky conspiracy theory that when they clone them, they have to raise them. So the American dream is truly that you have to be a descendant or born within a...
I'm not trying to take anything away from her talent, but it would probably be a lot easier to make it if you're a descendant of one of the founding fathers who also happens to be a Freemason. If my great-great-grandpa was a founding father, then I would probably be the next Denzel Washington.
Didn't think it could possibly be true, but after receiving thousands of records and declassified reports from the Army, it's confirmed that during the Cold War, the United States military conducted secret tests on unsuspecting people in the city of St. Louis.
The Army's ultra-secret military experiments carried out in St. Louis and other cities during the 1950s and 60s.
This study was secretive for a reason. They didn't have volunteers stepping up and saying, yeah, I'll breathe zinc cadmium sulfide with radioactive particles.
These Army archive pictures show how the tests were done in Corpus Christi, Texas in the 1960s. In Texas, planes were used to drop the chemical, but in St. Louis, the Army placed chemical sprayers on buildings and station wagons. City officials were kept in the dark about the tests. The Cold War cover story was that the Army was testing smoke screens to protect cities from a Russian attack. The greatest concentration of this compound was sprayed near the Pruitt-Igoe housing complex just south of downtown St. Louis. It was home to 10,000 low-income people, and an estimated 70% were under the age of 12. They all unknowingly inhaled this compound morning, noon, and night. The Army placed sprayers on this former Knights of Columbus building on Lindell and in Forest Park. Documents uncovered to date indicate the Army never conducted follow-up studies to see whether the compound caused long-term health issues.
Based on the compound that she described, it sounds like they were testing out version 1.0 of the cloud seeding formula. Whoever approved this is a goblin.
So James Earl Jones, the voice actor for Darth Vader, passed away today at the age of 93. And, you know, condolences to his family. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. But I thought that he passed away years ago. Like, I could have sworn I read something somewhere that he passed away. And I looked it up, and apparently millions of people already thought that James Earl Jones passed away. And that it's part of something called the Mandela effect, where everyone shares a collective memory of an event that never happened. Like, millions of people all have the same memory of something happening or something looking a certain way that never actually existed that way at all or never happened. And I'm super confused. And I wanted to make this video just to ask, did anybody else think that he was already? Or does anybody else have like a memory of him already being passed away? I'm like so confused.
I personally don't recall hearing about him passing prior to this, but the wife is very adamant that she does, and she's not even into Mandela effect. She even woke me up out of my sleep and had me panicking just to tell me that, so it must be something to it. Let me know what you guys remember.
Out of nowhere, the bottle gets pulled from her hand in the blink of an eye.
It was probably a ghost who had a terrible experience on the Grey Goose and wanted it out of there.
Tartarian star fort.
So, I'm beginning to think that these star forts are giant batteries. Case in point, this is Battery Park, New York City. Did they call it Battery Park because this was a giant battery, maybe? Now, New York City used to be called New Amsterdam, and here we are looking at Wall Street, where coincidentally a giant wall ran around the Tartarian-style fortification. It was literally a walled city. It even appears that the Statue of Liberty was built on a pre-existing star fort that was already freaking there. These star fortifications are found all over the world, from North America, South America, Europe, and even Australia. They claim to have been built between 1500 and 1700, but Australia wasn't even founded until 1788. How are these star forts built in Australia then between the 15 and 1700s? The answer is because they're lying. I also believe that these star forts were constructed on areas where ley lines intersect, which would be a massive power source that these quote-unquote batteries could draw power from.
To piggyback off of what he said, some of those forts actually look like they were designed to look like cymatic patterns, so maybe they were attuned to certain frequencies to amplify the atmospheric energy.
De que está cerrada la de Big Ben, güey. A veces cállate. Es un señor con sombrero.
No se ve nada.
Ya no se ve, pero sí se... No.
Ah, no, sí, está ahí.
¿Sí está?
Ah, ese es el velador.
Ay. Un velador no se ve como si fuera, no sé, turista o acapulqueño. No se ve.
Es como la muerte, para asustar a la gente y no se metan a robar.
It kind of looks like Freddy Krueger waiting for the Dairy Queen to open back up so he can get an Oreo Blizzard and chicken tenders.
This is known as Mozart's Masonic opera, written in the last year of his life, and he did something that he knew his Masonic brothers would attend, and that non-Masons would come out of curiosity for what the Masons were about. And he thinly disguised a Masonic initiation ceremony in this opera. So as part of the Masonic initiation ceremony at the time, the candidate goes through these 4 elemental tests: earth, water, air, fire, to prove to the brethren that they have the right balance of these 4. And of course we see these in the second act of the opera. Tamino's going through the initiatic process, and the first 2 are earth and air, and then he does fire and water subsequently.
So this opera is called The Magic Flute. I imagine there's quite a bit to unpack there.
Freemasonry is all about harmony. That's why geometry is the central symbol of Freemasonry, because geometry measures the harmony in the universe. There's a principle in theology, it's called hypostasis. We can never know the divine, we can only see the work of the divine. And because geometry measures the harmony in the universe, geometry therefore becomes the symbol of the creator of that harmony. That's the whole point of Freemasonry. That's really the whole point of this opera.
I learned something new in every single video. It never dawned on me that Mozart was a Freemason. Next video, I feel like we're gonna learn that Beethoven was at Bohemian Grove.
This rat is perfectly healthy. Put him in a vat of water and he finds his way to safety every time. 5.2. Now, look at this guy. What he's been eating is the equivalent of a North American diet, complete with all the fats and sugars we regularly consume. He doesn't know where to go. His brain has been damaged.
This makes so much sense because when I used to eat a lot of McDonald's, I would finish a Big Mac and instantly lose 2 IQ points.
Scientists have just unearthed 1,700 new viruses trapped in the rapidly melting permafrost. But the real shocker is the reason they were even searching in the first place. You see, permafrost around the world, which has been frozen for thousands of years, is melting at an unprecedented rate. And with that comes 2 main concerns for scientists. First being that the valuable knowledge stored within the ice is no longer permanent. Once melted, all of that historical information that's conveniently frozen in time for us to learn from will be lost forever. And secondly, ancient viruses, which we have no protection against, thawing out or now becoming a serious concern for the future. So as the ice melts, researchers are racing to collect samples that could help them learn about how viruses evolve over thousands of years, and also to identify and study new viruses in the chance that they pose a risk or reward for humans. I mean, one scientist literally injected himself with a 3.5 million year old Siberian bacteria that he revived from the permafrost because he said his data suggests that it extended life in animals, and claims that in the 14 years since injecting it himself, he hasn't been sick once. But rest assured though, in the most recent discovery, none of the almost 2,000 new viruses are dangerous or helpful to animals or humans.
It's a little comforting to know that none of these 1,700 viruses pose a threat, but if the prehistoric measles start going around, then we know exactly where it came from.
March 16th, 2018. The U.S. government's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, commonly known as DARPA, announces a bold initiative to develop what they call next-generation non-surgical neurotechnology. It is designed to allow the human brain to directly interface with machines.
We know that DARPA is exploring human-machine interfaces that include direct connections between the brain and outside systems. That's been from the beginning of DARPA's information technology mission, and it continues to this day. DARPA has created some of the most influential technologies of all time, things that we use and take for granted every day, including the project that became the internet. They've created self-driving cars, stealth technology, GPS that fits in your pocket. That's DARPA's specialty.
Like their counterparts at the CIA, DARPA-funded researchers have spent decades investigating how the human mind can be altered. In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior.
I don't know if it's a coincidence or not that DARPA has been working on mind control technology since the 60s, and now we're all walking around with smartphones. These are little Project Pandora antennas.
Someone brought a bag of Cheetos to a national park, and it is all over the news. Here's the local news clip. Whoever did this, I swear to God.
Carlsbad Caverns National Park posted on social media after finding a bag of Cheetos inside one of the famous New Mexico caves. But the park only allows water inside. The snacks, softened by the cave's humidity, formed the perfect environment to quickly spread mold and fungi through critters like insects. Rangers say to life in the cave, it can be world-changing.
You mother... It took 12 Rangers 20 minutes to get that bag of Cheetos out of there, and shame on you, whoever dropped that bag of Cheetos at Carlsbad.
Yeah, it was world-changing for the insects who finally had to eat something delicious.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're concerned about this, but I don't think a little bag of Cheetos will have much impact on the cave ecosystem, besides the fact that there might be a bear out there with orange Cheeto fingers. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and if you weren't able to catch the last upload, I'll leave it right here for you. Until next time, y'all take care of yourself.